Hey world, this is Lantinian here with a how to make your own playboard and mat video. Here's my playboard, the back side with the original picture. Here it's folded and it's just 4 millimeters thick. The size is the exact size of the board itself for the main game folded, so you can just stick them one on top of another. Here's how it looks on the inside, and of course we have the resources area here with silicone borders around where the play markers are so they stay in place. We have the corporation place for events, preludes, of course the green project cards, 26 of them, the blue cards, 12, separated into two sections, one for the sort of narrow ones and one for the wider ones, and the player markers. Now I just want to show you how this is all when it's fully loaded. So let's do the review. There we go. Okay, maybe it looks a bit overwhelming, but this is how it is when it's fully filled up. So the one thing I want to show you is this box I've made. Here we just mark certain cards when actions are taken, and all the tags are visible, including dual tags if you have prelude cards with dual tags. And yeah, just about it. So I thought this will be my final version, but good old me, I wanted to always change something. So here's version 14. This is the picture of the Pathfinder expansion, which I love and I've printed out. So there we go. This will be version 14, and I'm gonna make it for you in not real time, but in a time lapse to save your time. So first I want to show you what instruments I'm gonna use, and to do that I'm gonna put away this board. That's one advantage of using player mats. You can just move them around easily without, you know, moving your cards. So let's get those tools right over here. Yeah, this is my tool set, everything I need. Cutting knife, scissors, masking tape, the silicone glue, a nice metal ruler, and of course the silicone cartridges. So I'm gonna do the time lapse now. Let's get started. Alright, so we're done making the board version 14, and let me tell you about the major changes from the previous version 13. Going from the left side, this space is now more space for the card, so each card is more visible, there's more space for resources, but they're the same number. In the middle, where the green project cards are able to fit in 2 more, And we've moved the player markers here where they are a lot more secure, and this whole area is now dedicated to them. So you could just take markers from here and mark actions. At the end of the generation, you just return them back. I have one dedicated here for the corporation where that's applicable. Now the areas for the resources are a little shrink, but I think that's okay. I had more than enough. The only concern is for the area here for the mega credits, where I have a lot less area. So what I'm thinking, I'll just make a minor reversion and switch the face down events from this position to this. That way I'll have all this area just for mega credits. Now I will hide a little bit up from the corporation card, but most corporations, the vast majority, have their actions on this side. Only a few have them spread around, so you could always just move a little bit and see if you need it. And this will be for the next version of the file, but I'll link in the description where you can download this from Board Game Geek and just print it yourself and make it at home. It took me about 2 hours, so there were 4 time lapses, each 30 minutes for me to make and 30 seconds for you to see. So I hope you learned something. I hope it inspires you to make your own board and enjoy. Okay, I'm actually still here. I decided to make the new version of the board I suggested yesterday with a few improvements, and so it's now the next day and I have just come out of the printing shop and here it is. So let me just walk you through quickly of the changes. On the right hand side where the blue project cards are, I really liked how I see both the icons and the text description of the instructions. But that wasn't the case for this side. So I decided to sacrifice one of the blue cards from 7 to 6 and then see a little bit more. In the middle where the green project cards are, I made a following observation. If you are playing a multiplayer where it makes sense to count the cards, you'll never get into a situation to play the 4th prelude card. This is only possible in single player by default, where you play one extra prelude card. So I thought in 99% of the games, actually this card will not be there, so I could just fit in one extra project card. So I sacrificed one here, I gained one here. In the prelude sections, I also switched from the silicone border to these paper borders, of course, just as with everywhere else. It just makes more sense to hold these in place. Otherwise, they sort of like a little bit fall down if you push on them. That way they will stay in place. The main thing was, of course, switching the event cards from vertical to horizontal. You can actually place them here, here, or here, of course, where you like. You have more options, and we expanded the area for the mega credits. The most exciting thing, though, is my own contribution to the whole project, of course, is the generation track, which I've never seen anywhere else. I've moved it down and expanded on it, so we now have 10 places. Let me just go over them quickly. The first one, of course, is moving the player marker clockwise. Then we have the generation +1, the research phase. Then we place our player marker here whenever it's not our turn, just to indicate we still have stuff to do. We have one action, second action, and when we are done, we place the marker here in the skip position. Of course, we follow up with production phase, where we put the energy into heat, increase all the resources by 1. Then we move our player markers from wherever they are to their original storing location. The world government terraforming step, returning the colony ships back to base, and of course increasing the colony production. I've made a few minor tweaks here and there to improve, but those are the major ones. I'm really hoping this will be the final one, so I'm gonna head now and make a time lapse of making this. It's gonna be one time lapse now, so wish me luck. Okay, we are ready once again with building the extended player mat for Terraforming Mars. So the changes, the prelude cards are now really fixed in place. And if you're playing multiplayer and you actually don't use the third prelude card, you can easily just fit in one more project card here for a total of 29. Event cards are now horizontal, more space for mega credits, bigger track for the generation, fully visible description and icons for both active cards, decks, and I'm hoping that's it. So hope this inspires you to make your own player mat. Thanks.